Hey everyone, it's the Dark Knight Admin, and today we're going to talk about validation rules. So, what is a validation rule? Simply put, it looks for a condition to exist on a record, and if that record has that condition, it's going to present that user with an error message telling them to update something so that they can save the record. Currently, this is supported on just about all objects. Let's take a quick look at a validation rule. We have our name, we have our error condition, and we also have our error message. If this condition is true, send this message to the end user to go fix something. The error location also tells you where the error message will be received. Top of the page means it's going to be presented to the user at the top of the page. You can also select add a specific field to say that you want this error message to populate a particular field. I've been bad and haven't put a description here, so maybe next time I build a validation rule, I should go ahead and put a description field in there. This looks a little bit familiar. It's probably because you may have done it in a trailhead. I just copied one of the validation rules that I did for one of those modules and just used it as an example since it was a great example. When it comes to error conditions, just remember we're looking for a condition. Most of the time, this is opposite what we want our users to do. So in the scenario of the validation rule we just saw before, that particular rule is looking for when a opportunity is open and the close date's in the past. So as long as the close date's always in the future, we're golden. We can keep moving on. The user is in compliance with our validation rule. So typically we want to look for those opposite things of what we want the user to do for a validation rule. So we can take a little deeper look in here. So we have our error conditioner formula there. And I always like to write out exactly what I want to happen before I actually build the formula. So in this scenario, I'm going to write it out in plain language. We want to prevent the user from entering a date that is in the past when they update an open deal. So if the opportunity is open and the close date's in the past, we want to go ahead and give them the error message, tell them to move forward. In order to move forward, we have to update the date. Hey, and I just want to point out this right here is also tends to make a great description field. So in the future, I can copy and put this in my description field. And then when I come back to this validation rule, I can read what my description field states what it's supposed to be doing so I can actually get a better idea of my error condition formula beforehand to make sure that it makes sense and that it's in compliance with what I want. Whenever you build a validation rule, remember it's already an if statement. So if that thing is true, then do this. And if it's not true, do nothing and move on. So if that condition is true, present the error message. If it's not true, move along. So if you notice, we don't have to build this as an if statement. It already is an if statement. We could build if statements in there if we need be, if we have a lot of different things going on. But just remember, if this evaluates to true, then we're going to launch the error message. Now we're going to do a little use case here. So we want to prevent users from closing deals or accounts that are inactive. Basically, they can create opportunities for accounts regardless of their status, but they can't close them unless they're in the active state. So we're going to swing it over to a dev org, build out a validation rule, and see what that looks like. All right, let's go ahead and build our validation rule for the opportunity. I'm on the opportunity object. I'm going to scroll down to my validation rules down here. Click that open. You can see our previous one that we just worked on. Then we'll go ahead and click new. And for the name, I'm going to call it can't close ops on inactive account. And then the description is going to be if the account is inactive, you can't close this deal. If you already have this active, I'm going to actually turn that off right away so we can build the things out first. And then for the error condition, I want to go ahead and build that out. Remember, we're looking for two different conditions, so I'm going to go ahead and click the and, insert that in there. I'm going to just remove this out because I know the format. It's going to be the condition. The first field we want to look at, it's a pick list field on the account called active. I'm going to go ahead and click the ispick val first. Ispick val. And the field I want to select is going to be on the count. So we're in opportunity, go through the count, find the active field, insert it, and then I'm going to then give it the text literal of no because it's not an active account. Put a comma here for my next condition and open up the next line here for my next portion, which is just simply looking to see if this is a closed opportunity. So we go ahead and click Insert Field, Closed, Insert. And that's a Boolean field, so equals true. And like that, we can go ahead and check syntax. All good. Error message. Can't close ops on an active account. Please revise. Then we can specify the error location, top of the page, or the field. I'm going to keep it at the top of the page. If you did field, you can specify which field on the opportunity you would want that error to be populated. And now we have our validation rule done, ready to go. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time.